Welcome once again, Bob Savage here in with Dr. Bill Robinson of the Second Amendment Show on the WYSL stations. We're continuing our conversations about the New York SAFE Act and its evil twin, the mental hygiene law that goes hand in glove with that. In this segment, we talk with Donna McKay. And we're, first of all, going to get to know Donna McKay a little bit with just a personal conversation with her. Where are you from, Donna?
Penn Yan.
From Penn Yan, down in Yates County. And you've had a little scrape with the New York SAFE Act as well, right?
I have, unfortunately.
Okay, why don't you tell us about what happened?
Oh, just...
You got sick?
I had bronchitis, and
I used to get that. I grew up in a house where 5 packs of cigarettes were smoked every day. And so I used to get chronic bronchitis and I didn't get emphysema, but I mean, all kinds of respiratory stuff. So you came down with that?
Yep. They gave me a prescription, had codeine in it. I didn't realize that I was allergic to it.
Cough syrup?
Like a cough syrup with codeine. I had a reaction to it, dropped my blood pressure, got pretty panicky over it, wasn't sure what was going on.
That could be nasty.
Yeah, it was. Then I just got nervous and I wasn't sleeping. I just, everyday stresses and being sick, I needed a break.
Okay, so that caused you to go seek some kind of medical attention.
Yes.
And what was that?
I wasn't sure why my blood pressure was dropping, so I wanted that figured out, but I just wanted to sleep. So I thought my doctor had told me, think of it as like a mini vacation. You can go and admit yourself and take a couple days to yourself. So I thought that was a pretty good idea. Sounded good.
Mm-hmm. So where did you go?
I went to Soldiers and Sailors Hospital.
Okay, in Penn Yan.
Yep.
And they admitted you.
Yep.
And what happened then?
Well, first you go through all the evaluation process, and everything looked like I wouldn't be admitted at all because I didn't meet any of the qualifications to be admitted. Somehow they admitted me, so it went through. I slept like a baby for about 6 hours, and when I woke up, just realized maybe I really didn't want to be there.
So they determined there was some kind of a diagnosis that determined that you had a reaction to this codeine that was in the cough syrup, and that was what the cause of the distress was. So they just told you, well, geez, don't ever take any of that again.
Right.
And so off you went. But there's a little wrinkle in this, and that is that you happen to have a concealed carry permit.
Correct.
Okay. So how long have you had a concealed carry permit?
I believe I got it in 2005.
Okay. So you've had it a long while. Have you been a regular shooter?
Yeah, we do target shooting. I shoot with my family all the time, hunt every year.
What? That's interesting. What do you hunt?
Deer and turkey.
Okay. All right. And so you're proficient with the use of handguns and long guns.
I'd like to think so.
All right. Get to the range on a regular basis and hone those skills?
No. In-laws and parents are out in the country, so we don't really get involved with the range. We just do it on our own.
Okay. Did you grow up with guns in the house? Did you always have guns around? Okay.
Always.
So this is not some alien thing to you. It's just a natural part of your upbringing and your past.
Yep.
All right. So you had this experience. You went to the hospital. You had the reaction from the codeine. Now you're feeling much better. You're better from the bronchitis. You've put the whole thing behind you. What happened then?
A few days later, 3 sheriffs showed up at my door with an order to take my permit and my guns.
Okay. Now, were you called ahead of time and
No.
warned that they're going to be there? No?
No, they just showed up.
And no anything in the mail? Any documents in the mail saying they're going to come? Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. Just showed up. 3 deputy sheriffs, basically.
3 sheriffs, yep.
And what did they say to you when they came to get your gun? Go ahead.
Yeah, we're trying to get this documented so we understand.
Oh, yeah. They just said who they were, and they said that they had an order. They had the paper there from the judge, so they just said that they came to take my guns, and
what county, may I ask? What county?
It's Yates County.
Yates County, okay. All right, so they showed an order from the judge, signed by the judge. Did you see the signature? I'm saying this because we're getting into technical things because our guys want to know what's going on. Yep. So it was signed by the judge, so it was totally legal. Okay.
What was your reaction when you came to the door and you saw these 3 deputies standing there?
I didn't.
What's going on here?
I thought maybe there was a dog loose or something, because there's been cops there before for dogs and stuff like that. But I never really thought anything other than what's going on now. Or
All right, so they knocked on physically. We're trying to get physically what happened. So they knocked on the door and said they're here to take your guns. How did they? You recall how they worded that? What basically
they just have an order to remove the guns from the house.
Okay.
What time was this during the daytime? Was this
Yes, it
okay?
was daytime.
All right, so this wasn't like 6 o'clock in the morning or something.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So you produced the gun. So what did they take?
They took my pistol and they took my long gun. Now, my husband has tons of long guns and he has a pistol as well, but they couldn't take his. So they just took mine. So they just took two. They took my bullets that I had and my pistol permit.
Did they conduct any kind of a search of your house? Did they have a warrant?
No, they did not.
All right. So the passage of time here must have been relatively short. What, 15, 20 minutes, something like that?
Correct.
All right. And you must have been mortified. You must have been embarrassed. And did they express a reason as to why they were there for the guns?
They just told me that I should be able to go to court. There was a court appearance on the order that they had.
Oh.
So they told me I could go to court, explain to the judge what happened, and more than likely get my guns back.
Okay. And did they give you a receipt for the guns that they took?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that the deputies indicated that you would have an opportunity, you'd have a hearing, some kind of official action would be taken whereby you could get your guns back. Did you ever pursue that?
Yes, I did.
And what happened?
We're still waiting. We had about a year's worth of court appearances, and we're waiting for the final decision from the judge.
Appearances, plural?
Oh, yes.
All right. So you went. I'm trying to understand this.
Yeah.
It's a little bit mind blowing,
Yeah,
Bill.
we gotta-
I mean,
The date approximately was what? Roughly the date that they pulled your guns, roughly?
It was middle April.
Middle of April. Okay.
of 2015.
2015. That's why I want to make that clear. 2015. So it's
Okay,
over.
so now we're
a year now.
13 months later.
Yeah.
Or approximately, or a year. What? So you went for your first. Were you represented by counsel when you went to court the first time? Do you have an attorney? Or you haven't been yet?
To a hearing, the first date that they gave you.
I think I did. I think I was calling around right after that happened.
It was not Paloma, though. Right?
No, it was not Paloma.
It was a local
Not
attorney in Penn Yan or whatever.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what happened at that hearing?
It was just adjourned until the next one.
So you just went there and no evidence was taken and you weren't asked any questions, and why was that? Was because there was no policeman to pursue this, or
There was nobody there but me.
the
And
judge didn't show up?
Well, yes, the judge.
judge
was
did.
there.
Well, I
that's why
asked
we're asking.
I asked the question because I've had that experience where the judge didn't show up.
Yeah.
No, he was there.
But okay, so you didn't get any satisfaction at all. Now you say appearances plural. How many appearances? How many court events have there been in your attempts to get your guns back?
Around 4.
Okay.
Maybe
Approximately.
4 or 5.
Wow. Isn't that something?
And what happens
Yeah.
to these? Do they do anything other than adjourn it to the next time?
That's pretty much what they do.
Okay.
That's
All right. Well, we can talk to Paloma more about this. I don't want to get
we'll cover that
too
more
far
further.
into the weeds here with.
But just off the cuff here, I'm just thinking in general here. What happened to you? When you did go to the court that first hearing with your lawyer or the second hearing, did they show you any reasons, any documents as to why they pulled your permit?
No.
Or they didn't even show. They didn't have the courtesy to do that.
No, they didn't have any reason at all.
They didn't have any reason.
It
in writing.
felt like I was there just to prove that I was a well put together, sane person.
Stable, so you join
Right,
so the
right.
judge could
Okay.
see you as in a stable condition.
Right.
Okay, but they didn't make any determinations. So, although you're on their fourth try or fifth time, whatever you're going for now, fifth hearing. Okay, very interesting. Isn't that something? Wow.
Okay, so now there came a time after all the frustration of these multiple court appearances and everything that you decided to contact Paloma Capana.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how did that come about? Did you read about her somewhere? Or?
I was looking into everything I think I could possibly find on the internet about my gun rights, and I ran into Scope.
Okay.
So I called and spoke to Steve Alstead.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mhm.
And spoke to him, and he said, will you fax me over what you have, and I want to ship this to Paloma and see what she thinks about it.
Okay. And then Paloma took on the case, and so now we have the case of Donna McKay versus Cuomo, I guess, right? Soon.
Soon.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
it's
So.
coming up then. One thing, back to the your rifle or your shotgun, whatever long gun they took. Did they actually ask you if you had any other guns? Mm-hmm. They did ask you specifically that, and
Yes.
you volunteered that you did have a shotgun or rifle, whatever it was?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so that's how that came about.
Yes.
One. Did they know that there were any other guns in the house at the
Yes,
time?
they knew my husband had some.
Okay, so they weren't that concerned about that then. At least they were
They
professional
asked
with
him,
that.
yeah, they said that it would probably be best to remove them from the house. At that point, I was very, very afraid
Oh, yeah.
to even come close to a gun. They told me it was a federal offense and I
Yeah.
could go away.
It is
So,
a
long
nasty-
time.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that everybody's getting this. So it was suggested pretty strongly that even though your husband had not been, there was no color of legal authority to remove your husband's guns, that it would, quote, be a good idea.
Right.
Isn't that something?
Does that feel a little bit intimidating to you?
It's scary.
It is scary.
It's very
Okay.
scary. I felt
Understand.
very violated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you ever think that something like this could happen in this country?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, I did.
In light of what's going on overall, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
you know about that SAFE Act. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't sound like the United States of America to you, though.
Absolutely not.
Not the one that we were told where we have a constitution that guarantees us God-given rights, and especially since you've grown up around guns. You ever had any accidents with your guns? You ever had any mishaps, accidental discharges? Anybody stealing guns from your house?
No.
None of these crazy things that we read about in the news. You're a responsible gun owner.
Yes.
And then let's backtrack a bit. When you went to the medical facility and talked with them, you did not tell anyone, and I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but you didn't make any comments about you're suicidal in any way, shape, or form, right?
What I did say
Yeah.
over and over and over again was that
Yeah.
I was not suicidal.
Oh, you said you weren't. So
Yes,
very
as a
good.
matter of fact, I was
So you were
laughing
covered.
and yes,
All
I was
right.
laughing and joking with them.
Okay.
Basically just telling them I was tired.
And you at that same, because we have to bring this up, at that same point there, that duration that you were at that hospital, at that facility, you never in any way, shape, or form threatened anyone with physical harm.
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay. So we got that covered. Very good.
So there came a time now when you saw this term that is used in conjunction with the SAFE Act and the mental hygiene law of involuntary commitment.
Yeah.
I hate to use cliches or anything, but you think of someone being committed as someone who is not responsible for their own actions. If you're committed to some kind of medical treatment or some institution, that means that you're not really you can't handle your own affairs. That has to make you feel embarrassed and mortified.
Yeah. I don't even think those words really describe how I feel. It's always wondering, if somebody hears my name, are they going to think I'm crazy?
Yeah.
Or, because now it's out there. People know. Even the hospital people know.
You got to be concerned about your future employment prospects, or if you ever wanted to run for office, for example, maybe for the school board or the town planning board or something like that. This happens in these towns in upstate New York,
Right.
and now you have a medical record of, quote, involuntary commitment.
Right.
That's a tremendous thing to have on your record.
It's horrible.
And with no evidence. Now we're dealing with, you were at 4 separate hearings, and maybe Paloma can follow through on this when we interview her. Okay, so you've got 4 different times you showed up in court with a lawyer. They didn't present you any paperwork at all with somebody's signature that stated that they thought you were unstable or potentially mentally ill or or maybe going to hurt
you
anyone.
just had- you
You
just-
had no
Not at all.
paperwork handed to you or presented as evidence
Not
there
at all.
on their side against you. Zero.
Zero.
You went
Zero.
to-
No
you-
one presented a thing to you.
No, not
Isn't
at
that
all.
outrageous right there? That's outrageous.
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing that happened medically to you is you had bronchitis. You took a hypnotic drug, which dropped your blood pressure, which alarmed you, and you went to the hospital about it.
Yes, I was panicking over it.
Well, a drop
Yeah, it
in
was-
blood pressure. I mean,
Oh,
if,
yeah,
it,
that's
if,
serious
if,
business.
if a drop in blood
Fainting was
pressure is
scary.
severe
Yeah,
enough, you can have a
absolutely.
stroke.
Absolutely.
So it's a legitimate cause for concern. But immediately, within hours, they got the situation completely under control. It was a routine medical incident. It wasn't that you weren't foaming at the mouth, you weren't brandishing weapons, you weren't screaming. No. You were just a person who had a medical issue. That's what hospitals are for.
Yes.
And for that, you get your guns taken away.
Yep.
And it's been a year.
It sure
Yeah,
has.
isn't that something?
And
Yeah.
and you've had the heebie-jeebies put into you because your husband has guns in the house, and that could be criminal weapons possession if you pick one up
Yes.
because it fell on the floor.
They told me if I even so much as touch one and got caught.
Yeah, and you have children in the house, right?
I do.
Okay, so if for some reason one of them fell on the floor and you saw one of your children going for it, and you ran there and said, "No, don't touch that," and he grabbed it, criminal weapons possession.
Yep.
What a country!
Well, thanks to the New York State SAFE Act. Unbelievable what has happened.
So, how does this affect your feeling about gun ownership, Donna McKay? You still feel it's a God-given right? You still feel that we have a Constitution that allows you to?
Yep. As a matter of fact, I never really thought much about even protecting my family. Now I'm a little nervous. If something happened where somebody
Sure.
came into my home, now I don't have any way to protect my family. And it was always you always have the guns, so you never really thought about it before. Now that they're taken away, yeah, I mean it's a thought. There's a lot of criminal activity going on in the little town where I'm at, and you just never know.
There is a lot of criminal activity even in small towns these days. Isn't that true?
Everywhere.
I read it on the news all the time.
Yep, it's scary.
Yeah, there was that case of the guy that was watching the bank or something like that, and in Penn Yan, and he threatened a teller there, and I mean these are not the kind of things that you expect to hear about in a small community like Penn Yan, Yates County.
Yep.
Okay, so what advice would you give somebody who finds themselves in a situation like yours?
That's hard because I know what it feels like right now is to just run away and not get help, but you got to take care of yourself no matter what.
So get treatment first.
Get treatment first. Worry about.
And if you have any kind of a
Yes.
gun issue, to contact an attorney who has some expertise in Second Amendment issues.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Yep.
back to the hospital, we're hearing a lot about is when you go to a hospital and you get some kind of treatment, they have a questionnaire. They may ask you, or you may have to fill it out, and they'll ask you, "Do you own any guns?"
Yes.
Did they ask you that?
Yes, they did.
They did, and you did.
Yes,
you
I
told them
told
the
them
truth.
this, yes.
Okay, so
Okay, so that's how that came about.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So are you committed now to to helping other people who find themselves in your situation?
Yes, I am.
All right.
well, yeah, just being here interviewing with us is
doing
a
just
big,
that.
big important what do you want to call it? Event here, so to speak, because our listeners need to know what happened to you. And Paloma will elaborate on it in other areas, the legal end of it more, rather than get it too deep into the legal areas. Well, very good.
Donna, you think it's a good idea for women to be proficient in the use of firearms?
Oh, yes, absolutely. 100%.
The great equalizer, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Donna McKay, thanks so much. We wish you luck. We'll be watching your case, and thanks
Thank
for
you.
being, a good American and a good New Yorker, and showing the conviction that you have in pursuing this, and not just kowtowing to misappropriated authority. We'll put it that way. Best of luck to you, Donna. Thanks for your time and coming and chatting with us. For the Second Amendment Show, Bob Savage and Dr. Bill Robinson. Next up, we'll be chatting with Paloma Capana, Esquire.